Hey guys, welcome to Highlands Youth at Home.
Yeah.
Today we've got a great segment for you, brought to you live and in person here at
the auditorium.
Yeah, the auditorium.
In one of the side rooms where no one's allowed to go in.
Nobody knows where we are.
That's where they keep us overnight.
They don't let us go home. We'll edit it in post. Did you just? Oh,
I was thirsty.
Okay, so do you want to tell the everybody at home who's with their small groups what's happening tonight?
Tonight, well, because we're graduated, we realize that we have to cook for ourselves.
Yes.
We also realize that we have no ingredients because everything's being hoarded by 70-year-olds.
Correct.
With their toilet paper. Send help. We ran out of toilet paper 3 days ago.
Righto.
I was gonna say we had to use the vacuum. And focus! We're gonna go cook.
Yes.
And you guys are gonna love it.
And you're gonna come watch us as well.
Because it's gonna be a cinematic experience.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Who knows what we're gonna make, but let's get right into it. But first,
we need to change into some cooking clothes.
Yeah, costume change.
Hey guys, we're the Wakey Lazy Show.
Something with a Y at the very end of it, and we're gonna do something right now.
Yes, we're here to cook a great feast for some who knows who.
Whoa! Hello! It's really hot! It really stings.
Okay, we're back, and the store didn't have any baking paper, but we do have some toilet paper type stuff, so shh, don't tell anyone we have it. How to season, you get your finger over the top, I think, flick off.
You say finger over the top?
Yeah.
Inside these we have one single pickle, a little splash of mustard and tomato, and then one really borderline not so meaty thing. And
It's cold.
Wait, it won't be cold. So I'm just gonna get every red spice, and I just hope that's how they do it. That spice is important, and I live by that.
Oh, that's a lot.
You can never have too much. That's also something else she said. She was so wise until she had a heart attack.
There's like a little empty space like right there. I'm thinking of just placing a pizza right there.
Oh yeah. That's perfect. This is the most important feature of lasagna.
Cheese?
No, but yes. But layers. And what you do with lasagna is you put a layer and you put something, you put a layer, and you put something, a layer.
You sound like Shrek off that one movie called Shrek.
Cheese supreme pizza.
Just bring it all together.
All right, let's do a thing. A crowd cheer. All right, cheer if you want barbecue sauce. Can you hear him?
No.
Oh. Cheer if you want sweet chili sauce.
Woo!
That actually looks pretty good.
It looks pretty good.
I mean, like, I meant my my salt seasoning skills. You know? Should we try barbecue sauce as well?
You know what? Yeah. I'm just gonna.
I think you have to shake this. Oh, that looks mank. It's not coming out.
Are you sure it's even barbecue sauce?
It's like thick.
Give it a good squeeze. Like,
whoa!
Yeah.
Get a spatula.
No, that needs a good
Or a knife.
spreading.
That looks like chocolate sauce.
Have you guys ever just like watched someone lay bricks? They get like that cool cement stuff.
This looks like the cool
You just think to yourself, it's like, hey, I wish I could eat that.
Well, what? I never think I want to eat that.
Is that just me?
Yeah, that's just you.
Oh, okay, we'll just cut that out. I don't want to eat it.
And everybody loves chicken salt. It doesn't come out. Oh, it's coming out.
Yeah.
How much more? Tell me when.
Wait.
Oh, okay. You know, that doesn't look half bad.
You know, like.
Alright, let's slap this bad boy in there. I think we need more cheese. Because that's just gonna burn on top. Why does it look solid? It looks like a rock. It looks like it's already cooked.
Put this with
Let's put it in the oven.
Yeah, I like that. And how long am I gonna put this in for? 7
minutes.
I was gonna put it in for 7777 because 7 is a holy number. But I didn't do that, so I'm just gonna.
No! What just? It blew up! What did I tell you? Oh, I'm working with idiots!
Man, I'm stressed. Hey.
Alright, time to cue Sunday music.
Let's roll the commercials.
We'll be back to you straight after this short message. Any wider, but this is our saucy little pizza thing.
If you drop that.
I threw a pizza in there. Yeah. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Okay, you can let go now. See this? See this? Oh, see that faint mustache? That's my ancestors being French.
Oui, oui.
And that means that this, no matter what we put in it, is going to taste.
It's just gonna taste.
Magnifique.
Yeah.
I couldn't think of a French word.
Hey guys, so we made this amazing.
This is like one of those Korean face masks. It's a beauty.
Okay. Anyway, we're gonna eat this hunk of monk very shortly. But before we do that, we're gonna have a little costume change, like a little outfit change. Yeah. So we're gonna come back and we're gonna eat that.
Set the table.
Make it real nice.
Seat nice. My grandma would approve if she wasn't still in the circus.
Yeah, that's right. Sad. We'll be back real shortly. You want to do the magic click? All right, ready? 3, 2, 1.
Welcome back, guys. Welcome to
Highlands Youth at home.
Crushed it, first try.
Yeah, let's go.
We're professionals.
Alright, so we've gotten back into our fresh gear because we're going to have a very nice dinner.
Oh, little alpaca fell over.
His legs are like floppy.
He wants to lay down. It's okay, I respect
So
it.
we're going to give this a good little slice. If we could cut to the side camera. That was your cue to look.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Alright, so as you can see, this lovely piece of...
Oh, you cut into it and kind of like juice. You know, like when you like squeeze an orange and like it's like.
that's tough.
I should have made that sound. Now I'm thinking of blurring.
This is real tough.
Okay, we don't need that. Oh, jeez.
Cheese.
Cheese.
Yes, cheese.
Oh, it's. No, just leave that.
I'll give you a piece of cheese.
I'll leave that for after.
How do we scoop this? That's Lucy in the background. If you can hear her.
She's loving life.
Yes. Scoop that out. Scalpel.
Yeah, get that. Flop.
Oh, that looks yum.
Is that?
That's a bit of pizza.
That's a little bit of pizza, yeah. Okay, I'll grab my piece.
Alright. You want to move your plate over so we don't spill any? Is that bacon? I don't remember. Oh! You dropped it on my phone.
Oh, man.
So this is our lovely meal.
Yes.
Should we dive right into it?
Yes. I'm pretty sure it's cooked all the way through. You can tell if it's cooked all the way through. Do not try this at home because that will not work for anything else but our special church oven, which we used.
Microwave?
Yes.
Alright. Let's get into it. Oh, it's so tough.
It's actually hard to put the fork in.
Oh, just the smell of it. Oh.
See, I have no... Oh, no, never mind. I was going to say I have no sense of smell, but I can smell that pretty good. Okay. Okay, get some on your fork, bro. That's probably just short of enough to actually kill me. It's a lot.
You want to cheers?
Guys, please don't bother on the floor.
Cheers. There was no tink. Take. All right. 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, it's actually so bad. Oh.
Okay.
I didn't actually get it in my mouth.
There's real tears.
All right, hold on, let me. Oh, sweet Jesus.
It made the water taste bad. So, overall, I would give that absolutely nothing out of 10.
Yep.
I never want to even think about this again. I'm currently crying and sweating.
Can we just, we'll cut there.
Thank you for joining us with this journey. I looked at his plate again.
Please enjoy this next segment of.
Brought to you by Highlands Youth at Home. Stay safe, kids.
Yep.
Wash your hands. I'm gonna go wash my mouth.
I'm gonna go cry.
I'm not even kidding. I'm using soap.
Hey Highlands, welcome to our first online service that you're joining with us today. Hope you have been enjoying your small group time with your leaders or with your team, or if you're just with us at home, we thank you so much for joining us tonight. If you haven't met me before, my name is Nick. I'm a part of our Highlands youth team, and I'm so excited if it's your first time even actually being a part of our Highlands community. We're so glad that you could join us, and I'm so excited to meet you in person one day when everything is resolved and we can come together back as a group. But for now, we're going to be as safe as we can. We're going to be connecting through our small groups. So I'm so glad that you guys decided to go out and hang out today and still be a part of the youth community today. But right now, we've been going through our OG series in the past few weeks. And as I like to think of it, the OG, in a sense, we twisted it saying it's more of the opportunity grabbers rather than the original gangster vibe. But today, I actually wanted to talk more about the OG sense of it. So in 2020, it's been a train wreck. So from the start, there was a whole dilemma of, is World War III going to start? And then we actually had the catastrophe of all the bushfires, and then straight into now what we have, the virus, which is why we're doing the stream online. It's been great. No, it has been an absolute train wreck from the start. But it is so good that we are still strong, we are still connected, and that we are still together as a community in this. And that's why I'm so excited that you guys are doing this online, because it's your response in saying no, we'll still hang out, we'll still have fun, we still have each other. And I think that makes you guys real OGs. But talking about that topic of all these oppressions and all these catastrophes in the world, I thought I wanted to talk about 3 amazing OGs that I think are from the Bible. And they're in the book of Daniel, but these guys, they were facing the biggest oppression of all time that was absolutely out of proportion. But these 3 guys are named Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. And if you're wondering what kind of names is that, just think of them as the Ninja Turtles, but there's 3 of them and they're in the Bible. That's the best I can explain it. But anyway, these 3 guys are the absolute original gangsters. These guys, they were so strong in the response to what was faced against them and all the catastrophes and the oppressions that they had. But I thought I'd go into the story about it. It starts with a king, and his name is King Nebuchadnezzar. Flip, I can't give him a nickname because that is whack, but he's basically, in Ninja Turtle context, he's Shredder. But King Nebuchadnezzar has built this gold statue, and he declared that whenever music is played, when the horns, the flutes, the harps, the pipes, or any other musical instrument is played, that people are to bow to the ground and worship his golden statue. But anyone who refuses gets thrown into a blazing furnace. There's no middle ground. There's no in between. It's literally you bow or you get yeeted. There is no in the middle sense. It is literally such an extreme catastrophe or an extreme oppression against people if they refuse. So of course, everyone wanted to bow. Like no one wants to get thrown into the fire. So everyone's response to that was, we got to bow. We got to worship. Whenever music plays, wherever Kanye's popping his new album, everyone's got to bow. Everyone's got to worship. That's how it is. Facts. Now, this was really extreme, but in reality, that's just what they were facing at the time. It was bow down and worship or get thrown into fire. And I thought I'd read from the story. In the Bible, if you're joining along, it is from Daniel 3, verses 13 all the way through until 25. So, it starts with this. Then Nebuchadnezzar flew into a rage in order that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego be brought before him. When they were brought in, Nebuchadnezzar said to them, "Is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, that you refuse to serve my gods or to worship the gold statue I've set up? I will give you one more chance to bow down and worship the statue I have made when you hear the sound of the musical instruments. But if you refuse, you'll be thrown immediately into the burning furnace, and then what God will be able to rescue you from my power?" And I love this because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they reply and they say, "O Nebuchadnezzar, we do not need to defend ourselves before you. If we are thrown into the blazing furnace, the God whom we serve is able to save us. He will rescue us from your power, Your Majesty. But even if he doesn't, we want to make it clear to you, Your Majesty, that we will never serve your gods or worship the gold statue that you set up." I flippin' love this response, man. Not only, like, you can feel the raw sass from them every time they say the word Your Majesty. And I love Pastor Doug. He's one of our senior pastors at the church. He always says, like, I bet you $100 that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego are like teenagers just from their sass. And I think that is the most coolest and relatable thing ever. So, basically, King Nebuchadnezzar, he's ordered them to bow down and worship. They refuse. All the officials are like, I can't do it, man. Like, we got to yeet them in. And King Nebuchadnezzar is in a furious rage because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they believe in a God that is going to rescue them. They believe in a God that not even the fire or the fear of being thrown into a furnace can overcome them or can consume them. So Nebuchadnezzar was so furious with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego that his face became distorted with rage, and he commanded that the furnace be heated 7 times hotter than usual. I flippin' don't know how they measured that back then. Like, do they have thermometer? I actually don't know. I was really curious when I read it. But anyway, he's like, crank that bad boy up. So they put more stuff in the fire, more coal, I guess. That's what they'd have. Then he ordered some of the strongest men of his army to bind Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego and then throw them into the blazing furnace. So they tied them up and they threw them into the furnace. They got yeeted, but they were fully dressed in their pants, their turbans, their robes, everything. They were still, dressed, and nothing got singed. But because the king, in his anger, had demanded such a hot fire in the furnace, the flames actually killed the soldiers that threw the 3 men in. So the 3 men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, securely tied, they fell into the roaring flames. Now here is the cool part, but suddenly Nebuchadnezzar jumped in amazement and exclaimed to his advisors, "Didn't we tie up 3 men into the furnace?" And then his soldiers replies, "Yes, Your Majesty, we certainly did." But then he says, "Look," Nebuchadnezzar shouted, "I see 4 men bounded, walking around in the fire unharmed, and the 4th looks like the Son of God." It is flipping incredible, this story, because when Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, when they were faced with their biggest oppression, they stood firm in their ground in their faith. They didn't let the world tell them otherwise. In the society they were living in, it was bow to this or be thrown in the furnace. There was no third option, but their faith was so strong that they could see that there was something bigger than a fire, bigger than the fear of the fire, and bigger than anything that any earthly king could put upon them. I think it's so important and so relatable that we feel that we're in a world right now that is so consumed by fear that we need to have a bit of faith against the oppression. We need to be able to have that grit to stand against what is oppressed against us and say that we're not going to bow to it. We're not going to succumb to isolation, to be so alone and separated. And obviously, I'm talking in the sense of fear. The factor that people feel so afraid. They think that result is to fight for themselves, to hoard what they have. And I know in school that, obviously it's a big topic, what we're talking about. What are we doing? Like, I love chocolate milk. If that gets stolen one more time from the grocery store, I will set something on fire myself. But in a sense, there is a God that is greater and he will deliver me. But what I'm saying is that we need to have that firm faith that these three guys show, that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they have, because the fire that they had against them was their biggest fear. It was their biggest oppression, yet they never showed an ounce of fear, only faith. And my encouragement to you is like, when the whole world is telling you, be afraid of this fire, this is what's happening. The media will tell you everything, man. But people at school as well, they'll say like, you shouldn't be okay with this. You should be afraid. I want to encourage you, stand with faith and like, but it's going to be okay. I promise. I trust in a God. Personally, I trust in a God that is bigger than that. And my question to you, is your faith bigger than the fire that you are facing? Is your faith bigger than the fire that you fear in your life? Because in a sense, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego knew straight away that being in the fire with God is better than being out of it without him. Bible says, walk through the valley of the shadow of death, not walk around it, not bounce to it. But I tell you that the God that I believe in, the God that we believe in, he is bigger than any fire that you can come across. Perhaps your fire or your fear is just seeing certain people. Like, we know like people that can annoy us. Maybe it's like a teacher at school or a student that really frustrates you. Or maybe it's just going to work or school in general that you don't like the vibe there. The vibe check didn't pass. It wasn't cool. People are whack. But maybe it's just a struggle of every Monday morning and just getting up. Like, I truly understand, and my heart goes out for you if you feel like you struggle with this. But sometimes your fire, sometimes your fear factor, the things that you dread, that assignment, the things that you overcome going back home to your families if you don't like it there. I get it. It's a big frustration. But I just want to say it's okay to be afraid. But I want to encourage you, do not be consumed by fear. There is a difference, because I like the analogy of this story, because Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they were not consumed by fear. They were confident in their faith. They were not consumed by fire. They were confident in the God they served. See, fire and fear have the same purpose in life. They have the same purpose to consume. And my goal to you is, and metaphorically, we're talking about the fire here. I'll say, when you're standing in the fire, when you're in the midst of the storm, I want to encourage you, do not back down. Do not have the attitude of fear, but yet have a faith that is so big, a faith in a God that is bigger than any fire that you come against, because you know that being in there with him, he is there with you. Because if he was there with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I bet you that he's here with you now. I bet you the same God that we serve, the same God that we love, he is the same God that loves us just as much as he loved these three men, and he will never abandon you or forsake you. See, we have the same God that stood with them, and he could overcome anything. See, I didn't share this part of the story earlier, but immediately when King Nebuchadnezzar saw this, he actually ordered all his people to worship this God, to worship the God that we serve, that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego serve. He said, we need to serve this God. It was an oppression that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego they had, but then was once turned into an opportunity for then the whole people to worship God that we serve. I think it's so important that to be an OG, what we see, to have the opportunity that we're trying to grasp. I think what we see as an oppression, God sees as an opportunity. I think that we come across so many things in the world and we think it's against us, but the moment that we prove and we have a faith and we say God is bigger than this circumstance, then you have just proven it and you've just taken the opportunity to say it is different. And I'm not talking like you have to be as dramatic as like as cool as it would be. I know what it'd be like to reenact that story. I think it would be so extreme. Like if people walk in your school and they're so dreaded on a Monday morning, but you're like, you know what? It's a good day. It's going to be a good day. It hasn't even started. Like, don't ever decide how your day is going to go before it's even happened. Like, come into school with that attitude that is so much better. I love what Josh and Abby said. Choose your joy. Don't let 10 seconds of your day that is so bad rob you from the other 86,400. Don't, choose that gratitude. Be thankful. I love what you guys share. I love what you talk. And talking in the sense of being an OG, well, to be an original gangster, you got to be original. Like, you can't be like everyone else. You have to, and I'm not saying like you have to be creative and make something so different, something so extra, but what I'm saying is be original. And to be original, you just got to be a little bit different. So I want to encourage you guys with that difference that you're making with the whole world. When people are telling you to bow, when people are telling you to be afraid, when people are telling you to never to isolate yourself from people in the factor of fear, not the factor of safety and health. I mean the sense that when a world is falling so apart, when everyone is fending for themselves, it might make all the more difference when you share a little bit of light. And in a world today where people's all trying to fend for themselves, they're getting a little bit gritty, they're hoarding in what they have, I think the power of giving and generosity is so countercultural that it could shift people's life for an eternity. Because they will remember the day that when the whole world seemed like it was falling apart, that someone out there in the world gave to them. And that is the same love that Jesus has for us and that God has for us as well in our lives. So to be an original gangster, you got to be original. You can't bow like everyone else. You got to be different. And I love Romans 12:2. It says, don't copy the behavior and the custom of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect. And I promise you, if God said what he wants for you is good, pleasing and perfect, that is what he said. That is what will last for eternity when you have that faith and that trust in him. I just want to say, I know it's through online and it's a little bit different, but I want to encourage you that if you could maybe join me in a prayer at the moment, just with your small group, or even if you're with yourself, just kind of bow your head and take a moment as you listen to me speak for a bit. So I just want you guys, join me with a prayer at the moment as I speak this one with you. So dear Heavenly Father, I just thank you, Lord, that you are so good, that you are in control, that even through the fire, even through the midst of the storm, that you are so good to us, Father, that you are lifting us up, that you continue, Lord, to be with us, that you are a conqueror, Father. And I just want to thank you, Lord, for every single new person with us tonight. If it's their first time, Lord, I just want to thank you that they understand that we can still be connected in a community, Lord, that we can still come together as a group, Lord, and still just be happy, still have joy, still have gratitude that we still have each other, Lord. Never let us forget that you are with us through the fires, Lord, through the joyful times of our lives, and that you are forever good to us, and what you have for us is pleasing and perfect. In Jesus' name I say, amen. Hey, also, even if it's your first time or you haven't done this before, it's something new. We do this at every youth service, and I want to encourage you that if you really want to, if you want to actually know more about this Jesus, if you want to give your life to him, if you want to live a life that's joy, or if you want to have a gangster moment like Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, I would just encourage you, the best decision you can make is accepting Jesus into your heart and Savior. And if you want to do that, I just want to share a quick prayer with you, but it's pretty much just saying, dear Jesus, I just ask you into my life. Please, I just want to say that thank you for loving me. Thank you that you were with me. Thank you that you were for me. And I choose to serve you as my Father, and to thank you, Lord, for being with me through everything in my life. But why don't you talk to your small groups about it more and enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for tuning in and for being absolute legends and coming together in a community in this time of the world. We hope to see you again next week for our online service if we are doing it online. But until then, enjoy Highlands Youth at home.
Hi Highlands, it's Lucy here. Nick's message was so good and we can't wait to hear all that you got out of it. I'm sure that you'll have so many notes that you are able to share with your small group, and we're so excited to hear all the feedback. I just want to come here really quickly and talk to you about worship. And I know it's very sad that we can't have worship all together here at Youth on the Friday, but that doesn't mean that you stop worshiping. My heart around worship, and especially for this youth, is that we keep worshiping, because worship is actually such a personal experience. And congregational worship, as in with everyone, is awesome, but when you actually are able to worship by yourself at home, that is so important. And it is so important that just because we don't have youth, that we don't stop worshiping. We've actually created for you guys some playlists on Spotify that we are going to put up in links in our descriptions. And this is actually just encourages you to worship at home, because worship doesn't stop just because youth does. In a time like this, where there's so much panic, where there's so much hurt going on in this world, we really need to band together as Christians and actually worship, but in our own personal way. Something that I usually do for worship is I sit down and I play my worship playlist and I just sing it to God on my own. But something that I also do sometimes is I put in a praise playlist, so it's all of those mosh songs, and I just dance at home and jump around at home because we serve the same God, whether it is at youth or at home. And it is so important that we continue that worship, even if it's not here. So guys, I really encourage you, go check out those playlists on Spotify. We'll have the links and descriptions for you. And I just really encourage you, let's go out and worship. Let's not lose our heart of worship. Thank you so much for watching. I don't know what else to say.
Wow, guys, what a night it's been so far.
Lucy, we loved hearing your heart about those Spotify playlists, and you guys should really get on them because they are amazing.
So good. And Nick's message, so good. Fire points. I can't wait to hear what you guys got out of it as well.
Thanks so much for joining us tonight at Youth at Home. How cool.
And don't forget, enjoy your time with your small group now, and we'll see you next week.
Can't wait to see who you're discipling this week. Love you guys.
Peace.
Bye.